Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and this is the Piracy Show. Now, today's show, we're going to be dealing with equipment, pay to win, all kinds of fun stuff. Now, invariably, whenever we get a reset, we end up all having to do the same thing. We make some money, and then we end up in the shops, and we're buying armor, we're buying kit, we're getting whatever to get ourselves sorted out. So as we play and as we go on through the game, we've got overall a better set of equipment to do things with. We all start out with pretty much the same friggin' banana suit with the fishbowl on our head and a little laser blaster on our hip, and it's up to us to kind of go out, make a little cash, and then get something better than that at least. I always kind of like this, this, I don't know, Pathfinder set, this desert scavenger set, whatever it's specifically called. I always kind of like this set, so it's generally what I go for. But while I was buying this, I thought, that's actually kind of something that CIG could market, right? You go to the shop on the website, and you see weapons for your ships, and there was various equipment options that at one point we could buy. I'm not sure if they're still there, because generally I don't go to that shop anymore. And so I was kind of thinking, you could actually kind of make some mix and match options in the store. So that way, instead of having to go out and kind of get all this stuff, you could just say, here's a scavenger set with a P4 AR. And when you buy it, you get all the clips, like 6 clips for your AR, couple of grenades, and you get this armor set. It's $5. Boom. Someone goes, sounds like a deal, get it, and then that way you no longer have to go through all the crap of having to buy through these things and earn up a little bit of cash there. You can just go wake up in the game after a reset, all your stuff is on, and then once the game goes live, you permanently have that set of armor stashed away in a closet somewhere, and whenever you need it, it's ready to go. Seems like kind of a perfectly straightforward thing to do, and probably if you priced it down there enough, I mean, realistically, it's digital goods, and most of this stuff you've already made it, so you're just, I mean, it wouldn't represent, I think, a colossal effort to market something like this. But then you do kind of start to dip into everybody's favorite topic, which is pay to win. Is it pay to win to be able to go out and do this thing, do that thing, do the other thing? And in general, with Star Citizen, you're arguing the same thing all the way up into ships. Is it pay to win? And I think, like, my point of view on it, I don't think I've ever really kind of delved too deeply into the pay to win thing. But I've nudged the discussion. I've kind of felt like, I'm going to make a few points in this video that are generally about what I'm talking about, but they kind of dip into pay to win a little bit, and I think that they're kind of to nudge the discussion, I think, in the right direction. But I've never really think that I've ever actually directly tackled it. I might have, who knows? There's a lot. I've made a lot of videos, but I don't think that Star Citizen is pay to win, because realistically, the pilot who sits there and says, I'm spending all my money on my rig, I'm not spending my money on a spaceship. I'm spending my money on my gaming rig because that's something that I can apply to multiple different games. I'm just going to get the Aurora game package, and that's it. And then they kind of look at other people and they go, oh shit, well, Minion got himself a Reclaimer. That dude's got so many advantages over me now. Oh, that's, just because he spent all that money. That's not fair. That's pay to win. I don't really think that it is. And the reason why is that Reclaimer is going to require people to make it work. Now, of course, you can get NPC crew members, but in general, I always think that people are always going to be better, because people may not make decisions as exactly or as quickly as a computer can, but people can infer things. People can reveal skills that in general, I don't think that the NPCs are going to have. And those people, those guys who are out there with just the Aurora game packages, those people are going to be able to command a premium for their services in game. Yeah, I might have, because I have this ship, I might have that higher earning potential, but a lot of that earning potential is probably going to end up being taxed hiring, just regular players to crew those various stations on my ship, because having them there is something of an advantage. I mean, even with what's available in game now, let's say I go to the drug lab, let's say I go to Bountiful Harvest or wherever, any of these insecure landing sites, having a couple of people there to work physical security while I'm making my money is going to be worth X amount of credits, but it's going to kind of go against those earnings, because I have to be able to pay them, and I have to be able to pay them in such a way as to make it worth their time. But I also have to balance that against, am I actually getting anywhere financially having them along, right? So there is going to be a certain tax on all those earnings, and I think it's going to be fairly significant to keeping people aboard your ship and having people around to kind of act as your backup, as your security, as your bodyguards, or just to help maintain your ship or operate your ship in a much more optimal fashion in a combat situation. Mercenary services and being able to market mercenary services are a very real thing in video games right now. I mean, this is proven that this works, and that people can make a lot of money doing these things. I mean, I could log on to WoW right now, hop into Dalaran, into Trade Chat, and there would be tons of people advertising, whatever your Mythic Plus key is, if it's a plus 15 or beyond, X amount of gold, and I've got a team ready to go, and we'll do that dungeon for you right now. And it's literally something that is sold, and people make a bundle doing this. And this is something that easily translates into a game like Star Citizen. Let's say you have a mission where, we're about to get missions with NPCs on the ground. That is something that is coming. I'm not sure if it's in the next patch or in 3.2, but it is something that, the devs have talked about, and it's something that is coming. You may end up seeing people in various local channels advertising, I have a crew of 5 or 10, mercenaries, FPS experts, doesn't matter, whatever mission you've got in the Stanton system, we will go in. We already come with heavy armor. We got our own medic. We've got, silencers on our guns. We are totally professional. You bring us to the mission site. We will clean that mission site out for you so you can get whatever the rewards are for that mission. And boom, and this is our price tag. And people will market and make money off of those skills in the game. Mark my words. The ship that you buy into Star Citizen with, whether it be an Aurora or Cutlass or whatever, doesn't matter so much as being in the game. If you develop yourself, if you have the skill sets that you can market to other players, you're going to make a fair chunk of money in the game, because there's a lot of things that we're able to do in the game now because the game is at such a basic state right now. But when you get into things like scanning out wrecks, when you get into things like having mercenaries to bust into places and break people out, or steal something, or recover some Vanduul artifact or whatever, missions that may gate other content that players want to get past, but they're looking at it and they're saying, shit, I only have like an hour tonight. Like, I don't want to sit there and just kind of interview people. I can go to this org over here, and all these guys own is Auroras. But when it comes to FPS mechanics or maintaining a ship or running personal security, these guys are absolutely fantastic at it. They kick complete ass, and I'm going to hire them to do that. They don't need a big fancy ship to make money with their characters. They just need to have a character. We might end up in a situation where even in peaceful content, let's use the Reclaimer, let's use Salvage as an example. We might end up in a situation where the captain of a Reclaimer might break it up using a share system. Captain of the ship gets 20 shares, the officers get 10 shares, and the crew get 5 shares apiece. However, all that math works out, And so there's still going to be plenty of earnings potential even for the lower end people, or the people lower on the ladder in a ship's crew. There's still going to be room for lots of earnings and lots of money to be made. The captain just gets more because he has to maintain his ship and all that goes along with it, and he's going to have to determine a system that makes it worthwhile for those people to show up and crew his ship. And so chances are the earnings that they're going to be getting are going to be much higher than they would earn just piloting their Aurora around from place to place doing little odds and ends jobs. There's probably going to be a lot more money to be made doing that than just kind of floating around in that Aurora. Even in a situation like this where I'm landing at Bountiful Harvest, you know, I'm shutting off my engines, I'm getting down out of the ship, I'm going in to make the purchase, but if I've got other people here who are operating the vessel, who are watching sensors, I'll know that much sooner if someone's sneaking up on me. Right now, I am completely vulnerable. I'm not watching sensors anymore. Someone could be flying up with another ship. They could be landing an entire crew, but if I've got people watching out for me, I've got people watching my back, guarding my ship, there's a lot of things now that I don't have to worry about that allow me to make money that much faster and that much better. And that's going to be worth a premium in the game, especially when we start getting up to much, much larger ships. And the viability of running cargo in them starts to go up as well. You also have to factor in the time that people are putting in with you and have to pay that money out as well. So having a bigger ship that allows you to make a lot more money, a lot of that is probably going to end up being taxed, paying players to kind of fulfill certain duties or basically to protect you so that you can earn that money in the game, because things are going to get a lot more complex as things go on. And there's probably going to be a lot of things that, even though technically you can hand them off to NPCs, that might require a certain degree of micromanagement, whereas you can just pay the tax, get players to do it for you, and probably end up with a much better and much more secure result. There's an entire economy, not just in video games, but outside of video games with, you know, real money trading and all that, based on players getting access to gated content or getting difficult content completed by simply paying other players to either show them how to do it or to do it for them, right? And I mean, Star Citizen, they're focusing a lot on building emergent gameplay, maybe not so much real money trading, but they're focusing on making sure that there's a rich and diverse economy where things like this are possible. See, like, I mean, right here, this guy floating in a Cutlass right now. I believe his name was Bad Karma 76. Had I had other people with me, I would have known he was there, but I didn't know until, you know, basically he was almost within firing range of my ship. Maybe he was going to shoot, maybe he wasn't, I don't know, but I'm definitely getting out of there and I'm not hanging around to find out. But if I had had other people with me, I would have known ahead of time, and that could have prevented a little bit of, you know, of a headache. And so there's a value to just having access to the game, and the ship that you have access with is, I don't think, is a huge limiting factor. I think the most valuable thing is your experience, your skill set, and your knowledge of the game. I think those are the most valuable things that you can bring into like a universe like Star Citizen. And the ship certainly does come with a higher earnings potential, but you know, it's kind of like more money, more problems. I don't think that it's quite the gap that a lot of people make it out to be, and I think one of the things that's going to profit you the most is your knowledge of the game, your experience, and your ability to kind of show that to other people. I think that is going to be something that's going to pay a heck of a lot more dividends than just being able to say, oh, I can buy the ship, therefore I win. I think there's going to be a lot more to it than just that. Being able to swipe a credit card is not going to make you some kind of, you know, interplanetary champion in Star Citizen. There's a lot more to it than that in this game. Anyways, that's my thoughts on that topic. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.